In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Amen.
This is not the news that we were hoping to hear, or is it? See, people are standing around and they're talking about the great temple in Jerusalem, just marking how Johnny was talking about a moment ago, just how beautiful it is, the intricacy of its stonework, gifts dedicated to God. And Jesus says, you're admiring this so much, that the time will come when every stone in this building will end up as a heap of rubble. And they ask, Teacher, when is this going to happen? Not this grand home of God on earth, for that is what they believe the temple is the home of God on earth. The truth is, the temple had been destroyed before, but still, when something that imposing stands before you one day, the next day, it's hard to believe it will be in a heap of rubble. King David's hilltop stronghold had grown into a rather large city of Jerusalem. It was King David's son Solomon that built the first temple on that site, and that lasted about 400 years. That temple, though, was destroyed by the Babylonian armies in the year 587 BC. The second temple on that site was built with the support of the Persian king Cyrus, who defeated the Babylonians who tore it down. And it was rebuilt about 50 years after it was torn down by the Babylonians. That one stood on the site for nearly 500 years. But that temple, too, was destroyed, not by an opposing army, but by King Herod of Israel himself. He tore it down so that he could build a new one, even bigger and better than the ones that had ever stand there. That's the temple that Jesus is standing in. It, too, would be destroyed, never to rise again. Ever. So we do assume that much of what we build here will last, well, we assume forever. Ground was broken for the World Trade Center in 1966. In historical terms, that's not that long ago, is it? The first tower opened in 1970, the second in 1973. Together, when finished, they became the world's tallest buildings at that time. And we assumed that they would be there, like other buildings around them, that they would be there forever. Yet, who among us ever even envisioned a day like September 11th? It's not exaggerating to say that that destruction was devastating to us as a nation. It came down in a matter of hours. Washington National Cathedral, its first stone was laid in 1907. Construction took place over the next 83 years. That's not a very long time in the grand Gothic cathedral tradition. Final stone went up on the pinnacle of the cathedral in 1990. Yet, I was told that that magnificent cathedral was seconds away from becoming a heap of rubble on August 23rd, 2011. That's when the earthquake hit this area. You see, a Gothic arch depends on the weight-bearing loads of the flying buttresses, and tall, pointed structures are more susceptible to ground-shaking movement. If the force of the earthquake spiraled up, the earthquake stopped just in time, but significant damage had been done. July 30th of this year, devastating, catastrophic flood inundated Ellicott City's Main Street. Again, in just a few short hours, much of Main Street was unrecognizable. The damage had been done. There are many merchants and residents who will not return to Main Street ever again. This community that we know is St. Peter's in Ellicott City, it's not immune from such destruction either. The original St. Peter's, in the historic district in Ellicott City, burned in the 1930s. It rose again on this site in the early 1940s, the building that we enjoy now. So, what Jesus is saying here is very true. Every structure has a moment in the future when it will become a heap of rubble, intentionally or not. Now, what Jesus is really implying is this. When the outward and visible signs of your life and your faith fall apart, what are you going to have left? Be prepared for that day, Jesus is saying. Build up your relationship with God, for God desires, yearns to be in your life. Trust God that God is in the process of all the details of life. Be direct, be open and honest with God and each other in that relationship. So then, let's use St. Peter's as a microcosm of our nation. For some of you, Wednesday morning's news was a disaster. And for some of you, Wednesday morning's news was a joy. The future always seems uncertain after an election like that, particularly when parties are changed, a new party comes in to office. Remember what it felt like 8 years ago. That was a time of uncertainty as well. Instead, well, here we are, still together, still looking toward the future as a community of faith. And so it is that the foundation of our future are built on the relationship with God and each other. That is the enduring thing that we will carry forward. Jesus says that we can survive, even thrive in times of uncertainty if we hold on to this truth. Secondly, trust that God is in the process. It even has a name. It's called process theology. God does not choose or force upon us any choice at all. We are free to choose and to do what we want. But process theology said that God is always there in the mix. God will steer our choices, good and bad, to the best outcome possible over time. Maybe not immediately, but over time. So when things feel hard, be assured that God is still here in the muck and the mire of human life. Thirdly, if relationship and trust are foundational, so is authenticity. Be direct with God. It's okay. Be direct. Tell God what's going on in your heart and your mind. God is big enough to understand. Tell God your hopes, your dreams, as well as your heartache, as well as your sadness. And yes, share with God even your anger. Again, God is big enough to take it. Be direct with respect to each other, because I believe it ties all of this together. Assume the best in each other first, then do the work to make the best outcome possible. Like those that were there that day with the temple in Jerusalem that is no longer there, we too can ask, will there be a day when this place here no longer stands? Well, yes. The structures, the temple structures of history, are only the outward and the visible sign of something timeless and eternal. Temples, skyscrapers, cathedrals, even small parish churches will come and go. Some never to rise again. So it is that the relationship built with God in the process of life will be that which endures for all eternity. Jesus reminds us that God's time is not chronos, the measurement of time, the minutes or the seconds that pass by as we look at our cell phone clock. No, God's time is something called kairos. That's altogether a different concept of time. And kairos is more like eternity. And kairos works something like this. How can you tell the moment that it is no longer dark, but that the dawn has arrived? How do you know that moment? It's been said, you know that moment has arrived when you can look in the face of another human being, any other human being, and see your brother or sister. Until that moment, all is still in darkness. God's kairos is the fullness of time, God's perfect time. It is that time is humanly unpredictable. The flow of time and the consummation of history are ultimately in God's hands, not ours. In the meantime, between now and then, whatever that may be, engage each other, engage the world beyond these walls with godly love. Celebrate the moment we are in. This is the only moment we have. The past is gone. The future is not here. Celebrate the moment. Honor the face of God in every human being. We will never have a more perfect time to do so. In God's name.
Amen. Amen.